Hi, welcome to this Create with Copper video. I'm Teresa from Lily Tree, and in this video we're going to be using Liver of Sulphur to patina some of my pieces. So the tools and materials you need for this are your liver of sulphur, some bicarbonate of soda, some water, containers, plastic tweezers or a plastic spoon or fork, a brush, and I'll come on to that a little later, gloves, steel wool or a wire brush, and of course the pieces that you want to patina. So let's talk a little bit about liver of sulphur. It comes in a variety of forms: dry, liquid and gel. The dry form tends to be the cheapest, but it can be more difficult to store and it can also be a bit more hazardous to use. It is a skin irritant, so wear gloves whenever you're using liver of sulphur. Work in a well ventilated area. You might need a mask if you're using the dry form and are breaking up the chunks. It can cause dust. But in any case, it is smelly. I work outside whenever possible. The warmer the water, the quicker the patina develops, so I tend to use fairly hot water. And it's only active for a limited time, so I tend to collect together the pieces that I want to patina and do them all in one batch. And finally, it can affect nearby jewellery. So take off any jewellery that you're wearing and remove any from near to your workstation. So I'm set up, ready to start. I've got my gloves on and my jewellery removed. I like to use these takeaway containers and have a lid handy. This container will be for my liver of sulphur. I'll get the hot water in a moment. And in this container I've got 2 tablespoons of bicarbonate of soda dissolved into 2 cups of water. I'm going to be using the gel form of liver of sulphur. It's recommended for beginners and it's got a brilliant shelf life. It's lasting really well so far for me, so I haven't needed to try anything else out yet. So I've got a cup of hot water here. It's not quite boiling, but it is still steaming. And into that I'm just going to put 3 or 4 drops of the liver of sulphur gel. Now if I swirl that around just to make sure it's all dissolved, you can see the water's turning that distinctive yellow. That's what you want. And I'll start off with one of my rings. Just dip it in, hold it in there for a few seconds, and then you can bring it out just to check the colour. Keep just dipping and checking. Then once you're happy with the colour, you can just pop it in the neutralising bath of bicarbonate of soda. Now I've got a couple of other rings, so I'll fast forward for a second. I'm now going to move on to a wirework piece. This has amethyst in it, so I know it'll be fine with the liver of sulphur. It is going to be in fairly hot water though, so to prevent any problems with temperature shock, I've warmed it up by sitting it in some warm water. You could hold it under a running tap beforehand just to make sure it's not going from totally cold to really quite hot. Now I have the bracelet that I made previously. This has a turquoise in it which shouldn't be dipped into the liver of sulphur. The rule of thumb is anything with a hardness of 6 or above on the Mohs scale won't be affected by the patina, but stones such as opal, turquoise and pearls are too soft and shouldn't come in contact with it. Now one way of avoiding this is to patina the piece before introducing the stones, but if you've already made a piece and then decide that you want to patina it, you can use this method, which is basically to brush the patina solution on to the piece. So using a small brush, I'm just picking up a bit of the solution and then gently brushing it on. Make sure you avoid the stone and just slowly work your way round. Because the patina is developing as you go, I'm not going to get all the way round before it's kind of gotten to the colour that I want. So just work in sections. You can check the colour. And then once it's the colour that you want, you can just pop it into the neutralising bath to stop the development of the patina. Preferably give it a quick rinse off and then you can start painting on the next section. Now I've worked my way around the stone using the brush and I'm quite happy with the colour that's developed on that. The rest of the bracelet I can then just dip in to the solution and get to the same colour before popping it into the neutralising bath. Once we've finished patinaing all the pieces that we want to do today, we can then just pop the lid on the container, and then I'll just pop this outside. If you leave it for a few days, it'll turn from this yellow into a milky white. It's then fine to throw away, tip down the drain, or apparently it makes a really good tomato fertiliser. And we're ready for the next stage. So we've used our liver of sulphur and our beautiful wirework now looks blackened. We're wondering if this was such a great idea after all. Well, don't panic. We now need to remove the patina from the raised parts of the piece to create the contrast. I start this process with bicarbonate of soda. I have a tub of clean water here, although normally I'd use running water from the tap. You just need to wet your fingers, pick up some of the bicarbonate of soda and then rub it into your piece. You might need a few goes with this, but just keep at it and it'll start to show the raised areas eventually. Baking soda alone can work well for pieces made from copper sheet, but for more intricate designs such as this, you might want to move on to using fine steel wool. Again, preferably under a running tap, rub the piece well with steel wool until you reach your desired result. This can take some time, especially for intricate pieces, but just keep working at it. If you don't have any steel wool, or it just doesn't seem to be giving you the effect that you want, you can also try a wire brush. Wire wool can break a bit, so you end up with a few strands in your wire work. So once you're finished, check it carefully, and if so, you can clean those bits out of there with an old toothbrush. Once you've finished cleaning and you've got the contrast you want, I quite like to just polish up the piece a little bit again with these little sanding pads. And here are a few of my finished pieces. If you like this video, please press the like button below, subscribe to my channel and head over to my blog for more hints, tips and projects. Thanks for watching. See you soon.